It is the Riot Podcast. Happy Thursday to you.
Almost to the end of the week, guys.
It's going well, right?
Yay.
Yes.
We're making it work. So for today's podcast, we don't talk about it on the show, but be prepared tomorrow. Isaiah, you're going to the doctor today?
I am going to the doctor today.
Don't say no. Like, don't change your mind.
No, I'm going.
Okay.
I've already locked in because yesterday I wanted to go because last night I was on the brink, I wanted to go. They didn't have an appointment open, so I was like, you know what? I'm going tomorrow no matter what. I felt so bad yesterday. And then
Are you going to your doctor? Or are you going to like a...
I'm going to like a minute clinic type deal.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get tested for...
Your family doctor.
No, not the family doc. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I have a sore throat, and not like a little, I'm not a baby, but it's like a serious sore throat. Like
So
if anybody else had
strep
this,
throat?
yeah, if anybody else had this,
Which,
they wouldn't even be here.
Why are we just like strep throat? Why are you sitting there?
Well,
Yeah,
we are. I know you guys can't see us, but we're so far apart from one another.
No, we're
like
not.
I couldn't touch either of
hot
them.
air and spittle
I've got my
all
own
over this
microphone.
room.
I sit here every day.
We're sitting here like, well, it's not COVID, so
Yeah.
you can come in.
Exactly.
And it's still strep throat. I
It's
don't want
fine.
strep.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna go there today. We'll get a diagnosis. Hopefully, I'll be at work
But
tomorrow.
we're
How long
teasing
has
him
this
because
been-
he's going to have to, I bet you, they'll make you take a COVID test.
Yes.
And if not, you'll also maybe have a strep test, which is different. And then they might just say, well, what if you have the flu?
I just don't want them poking me. I just don't want them poking
Up
me
your
with
nose.
things like in my
That's
nose,
how they test.
in my mouth. I'd rather them just kind of like feel my neck, possibly like a light massage,
Like, see if it's swollen.
see if it's swollen, and then just say like, "Yep, here you go. Like here's some sort of medicine for you to be fixed," and it just clears up your entire body. I come in tomorrow feeling like a brand new man.
You need a family doctor because if you go to like your doctor, it's more casual, but you're not. You're seeing a stranger at a minute
Yes.
clinic, and they're going to be like, well, I've been told to do this and
do
that.
this.
And here we go. And you're going to get
And they're-
upset and call your mom.
They're gonna,
I'm gonna get upset.
They
And have her come
probably
get
assume
ya.
you're an idiot that doesn't know anything.
Exactly. I hate
Yeah.
that more than anything.
Yeah.
When I go in there, I'm like, I know there's something wrong with me. I'm not someone who comes to get checked on
Yeah.
or anything. I don't do like checkups or anything. But when I'm sick or something's wrong with me, I know something's wrong. So don't let me come in here and tell me I need to go home and take Dayquil or something. I want the real stuff. Give me
want
something good, baby. Give me something good.
Well, let's just wait until tomorrow and we'll find out what he has in the mysterious wheel of sicknesses.
Maybe
Yeah.
I won't even be here.
What-
Who knows?
Where-
Maybe I won't even come in
We're
tomorrow.
all going to be quarantined.
This is gonna be great.
We're
No,
going to get
that's
the call
okay.
tonight.
That's
and-
better than a Friday.
Well,
I've
how
been putting this
long-
off all week to go to the doctor for Thursday. I
You're
felt
right.
bad
We won't
Monday
even-
and Tuesday. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna put it off until Thursday. That way, I guarantee miss Friday.
Guess
Oh
what?
my
You're
gosh.
coming in because we're quarantining together, so
Yes.
it's fine.
Right, we're
We're all
already
together now.
exposed.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Exactly.
How long has this been going on, though?
Since I felt bad for like 2 weeks or so now, but I felt like my throat thing going on since probably about Saturday.
Okay.
So if we were going to get sick, we should have caught it by now.
Yeah, you guys would have already gotten it.
I guess.
Yeah, like we're so close to one another.
Or it is COVID, and
And
we
it's
just
right
have no
about now?
symptoms because
Exactly.
we're fine and we're strong
Exactly.
individuals. But for Isaiah, he has to deal with it.
He
Yeah,
has
it's
a
gonna
sore
be fun.
throat.
I'm gonna be fine. If I'm not in tomorrow, I'm not in. It's a Friday. You guys will get through. Who knows what I'll be doing? Probably at home resting, maybe out in the town.
Stop it. Go
Who knows?
rest.
We know if you don't come in tomorrow, it's something to do with the Browns.
Yeah, if the Browns lose tonight, just know that I tested positive for sadness.
You're like, what test was that?
Yeah, they said I have something. I
You just
won't
have
be
to
in
look into
tomorrow.
his eyes.
You'll get a
That's
text.
all.
You'll get a text tonight at midnight exactly. Won't be in tomorrow.
We've spent a long time on this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of the podcast we should be
Giving away.
unveiling here
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, so a couple things we talked about. We talked about mac and cheese and Kraft, how they're starting a club that isn't very...
Crap and cheese.
Yeah, it's not very exclusive because you essentially get nothing from joining it. But it sounded good at first.
You could maybe win something.
We talked about that. We talked about Adele and her last meal of choice, which I thought was very interesting because I
it's
would have
not
never
just-
picked that.
It's not last meal, but she was also saying that's what she has every week.
Yeah, I know.
So every week she has McDonald's because everybody's talking about, oh, she looks so great. She lost the weight. What do you do? And she's like, well, I still have, McDonald's. So.
Yeah, you know how Will Smith is doing that YouTube thing we talked about to show how
Legend.
he
To
get back into
got
it.
in his shape. I would rather see one for Adele.
Oh,
I'm
my
interested
gosh.
in that. Interested what her process was.
Okay, we'll see.
And then one of my favorite things we did today was we talked about things that were fancy as a child that just no longer seem fancy.
They don't
Enjoy
have
it all.
the same appeal as when you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was a good show.
It's
Like
exciting.
going to the doctor when you were young and getting amoxicillin, the pink stuff. And
Oh,
then
I
man.
felt fancy then.
fancy then, and now let's see what happens today.
Yes.
so
All right. Well, good luck, Isaiah.
I know, it'll be fun.
Bye.
Catch you next
They're not
time.
like bye-bye, but like
Possibly
we'll
bye.
still see you
See
tomorrow.
everybody on Monday.
Have a just tell them already to have a good
Yes,
weekend.
have a great weekend.
Bye,
It
guys.
is the riot.
Everything you love about the riot, plus a handy dandy fast forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
We've got a candy corn hack on our hands.
We do.
And by candy corn hack, I don't mean a hack about how to make it taste good.
No, there's
I
no
mean
help for that.
An actual hack, as in computers and ransomware and things of that nature.
It seems like the ransomware attacks are happening to a lot of companies right now.
Yeah.
That's not anything new recently. But remember, a few months ago, we learned that Satan's earwax is the other term
Yes.
for candy corn.
Love that.
And I love that so much because I think candy corn is awful.
It is. It's the worst.
And Satan's earwax, I think, is the best term or the alternate name for a candy we could ever come up with.
And it feels fitting around Halloween, too.
It does.
It really
It does.
does. Although,
Here, let me get the candy corn out and just pull it out of your ear.
oh, what if you went in with a Q-tip for your own ear and candy corn came out?
Oh my gosh. It's so gross.
Oh, that'd be the worst. So the Ferrera, is it
Ferrera.
Ferrera?
Ferrera
Because there's
candy.
Ferrera and Ferrero, and they're different, but they're both candy.
Yeah, the other one's like the Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, like the good candy.
The foil, the gold foil
Yeah, oh, the
thing.
hazelnut.
That
Someone
is
should hand those
not
out for Halloween.
earwax.
No, it is not.
Dude, how could you afford to hand out Ferrero Rocher for Halloween?
I'm sure and you go to the right neighborhood, but I just think kids wouldn't appreciate it.
Oh, they wouldn't. They'd be like, they'd want the candy corn.
Right. They don't get it. They don't
I'd
get
be
it.
passing out candy while I ate my own
Yeah.
Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, that's for the adults.
This is Ferrera Candy, which
Yes.
makes Brock's candy corn.
Yes, and they were hacked. A ransomware company hacked their systems. Ransomware company. It's not a company.
It's not a company.
It's just some hackers.
Yeah.
And,
You're giving them too much of a business-like
Yeah.
sense. It's not.
Right. It's just a conglomerate
Yeah.
of hackers. So these ransomware hackers, they hacked in. And, Nikki, what do you call the good hackers? White hat? Like the black hat is bad.
Sure.
And so white hat is like people that
do it for good.
So I think that's what these were. They were white hat hackers. They're trying to stop the sale of candy corn.
Well, the company
They're trying to
doesn't
do
like
us all
it.
a favor.
They're trying to restore everything back to 100%. But basically, when someone falls prey to a ransomware attack, everything shuts down. They have to just go off the grid, off the network.
Well, they have to either pay to get their, pay the ransom to get their systems back up and running functionally, or they have to set up something entirely new or something. It
takes time.
There's not an easy way out of it. And so that's
Unless you paid with 1 million candy corns. The ransomware people are like, we'll take 1 million. 1 million what?
they offer them candy corn and they're like, oh no.
No, we want dollars.
There's not enough candy corn in the world.
But they are having trouble still fulfilling all orders to ship to distribution centers. And then distribution centers are still having issues too.
Yeah.
So at this point, with Halloween next week, the earwax candy might not be in as bulk as it normally is.
You would think that at this point, though, most of that would already be in store. You know what I mean? Like they've already
It'd be in stores already.
It's a little too late. If they were, I would be very impressed if they're, sending candy corn hot off of the
press.
manufacturing line or whatever,
Well,
straight to the Kroger's right now.
Ferrera says this, and I feel like this is a lie, but they say that Halloween candy for the Brock's candy corn.
Yeah, like candy corn.
That affects for less than 10% of their sales for their Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
Who's buying candy corn outside of Halloween that it's 90% of the time?
I don't know about you, and maybe this is because of the pumpkins, but I feel that I maybe associate candy corn more with Thanksgiving
You
than
do?
Halloween. Yeah.
Oh, no,
It feels
no.
like you go to somebody's house, like it's Thanksgiving time, and they have the little bowl of the pumpkins and the candy corns just sitting out for people to try. Nobody tries it, but they have it sitting out.
Well, that's 'cause
it's a nice decoration at least.
Perfectly preserved.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking for it, they say that despite the malware and like the ransomware attack,
Yeah.
that you shouldn't really notice for candy corn.
Well, why would you?
You weren't buying it
No,
anyways.
right. But they do say, Nikki, it's important to point out they do have other things that could be affected by this, including Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, they do those?
They also, Girl Scout cookies, famous Amos.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually several other companies that are under this umbrella that could technically be affected. So I don't know. Girl Scout season's coming up. We don't want the Thin Mints.
Okay, now wait. I will eat Trolleys. You know, like the sour candy ones.
Is that the gummy worms?
Oh, it's a family of worms. Like not just worms, but a family of sour candies.
Yeah.
I'll do that. That's good. Little brownie bakers. Yeah, they are the official creators of Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, so we better get this back online.
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about the Riot for free? Radio U.
How's that coffee treating you over there, Nikki?
Pretty good. Listen, someone brought extra creamer yesterday.
There's so much creamer in the fridge
We
right now.
have 6 available options here at Radio U for
You
creamer.
counted?
I did.
Oh,
I
my
mean, we
gosh.
have the vanilla one, we have an oat milk one, we have a Dunkin' one. Oh gosh, now that there's so many.
Yeah.
We have a caramel macchiato one. We have the Cold Stone Creamery one.
That's just
and-
classic. That's a staple
the
in there.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Something tells me out of those choices, the oat milk one is going to last a little longer now.
Actually, we made this one coffee that it goes well with. It pairs
Yeah.
well. That's what the term I was trying to figure out. Pairs well. So you'd be surprised. I think that. I just want to know, like, is anybody else at Radio U drinking creamer? Is this
I
just
think
me?
it's mostly you. I know
Oh.
Chris and I both, I think, drink it black.
And I can't remember with Sydney if she.
And yeah, I don't know about Sydney. So yeah, it might just be you. You're just
Okay.
going through, you're going to go through 6 cans of creamer in there.
I have 6 options of creamer here, and no one else is drinking it.
Well,
and here's a new one.
Yeah, you might have a new option coming up. It's not until 2022, not until January. But Coffee Mate is going to be putting out a Rice Krispie Treat flavored creamer.
Ooh, I bet that's
in the
good.
new year.
So it'll be a marshmallow flavor with notes of toasted cereal in the Coffee Mate creamer. They need to do that at the end of January, though, because they always, starting January 1st, is like, that's it.
Right.
No
we're gonna
sugar.
We're gonna start over. Start
we're
afresh.
starting
Start
over.
anew. Resolution. Gonna cut out the creamer. Cut out the sugar.
Because I have a lot.
Yeah.
It needs to be at the end of the month so that I'm past that.
Once you've well, it's got to be there at the beginning of the month to start tempting you, and so that it wears you down by the end of the month.
It's not hard to wear me down, but that looks good.
I'm-
The Rice Krispie Treat creamer.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm surprised. You're notorious for not just putting creamer in your coffee, but also other food items.
Okay, now you're saying that like I do that often.
You do.
Every so often, a cookie falls in the coffee. What's the big thing about
or
that?
a piece of cake.
No, how often do we have cake? We don't have cake too often.
That's the only thing holding you back is that it's
Yeah.
not there.
The more creamer
There's
I have.
apple cider donuts in there now. You're not going to go drop one of those in.
Ooh, that could
See?
be good.
See?
Oh, that could be really
But
good.
we had Rice Krispie treats for a while. We might still have some.
I could dunk it in there.
Yeah, why don't you try that?
That's an excellent idea.
It will prepare you for this.
Yeah, then you just leave it at the bottom. I just like texture. And so then when you would have like the mushy part at the bottom of the coffee is where the cookie just melted into it. Oh my gosh. Now creamer's not enough.
The other thing I want to know, have you ever had creamer just plain, not with coffee?
No.
But close, right? Close.
Maybe.
With just a little
to
bit of
try
coffee?
it. Just to try it.
Yeah?
Just like a little shot of it.
But you didn't drink a whole cup or anything.
No, and just the one time,
Yeah.
like to test out the flavor.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little splash.
When I was a kid, you know the little cups of creamer that they give you at the restaurants?
Yeah.
I would drink those.
You would?
Just the plain cream?
There's nothing wrong with it.
No,
I mean,
no, those are good.
yeah, I bet they are.
I would still do it now if it was not very
frowned upon?
unhealthy and frowned upon. But the flavored creamer on its own actually is worse. I remember having the the mint mocha one or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is so good in coffee. How good must it taste just straight up? And it's not
See,
good.
sometimes it's the reverse. I have tried a splash, and I've been like, wow, this is amazing. And then you put it in coffee, and you're like, bleh. It doesn't work well. So we'll try in January the Rice Krispie Treats Coffee Mate Creamer. Until then, 6 is not enough. So if you have any other flavor ideas for coffee creamer, please let me know, because I want to make sure I just have them all in there.
Yeah. The last thing I wonder is, if you didn't have the Rice Krispie Treat label on, how different would this actually taste?
Honestly, the flavored creamers, though, it's in your mind.
Yeah,
right.
It's just cream with, and they've added some sugar right in there, and that's all they all are.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, Isaiah, how would you like to help forge the future of mac and cheese?
Oh, okay. So it's like
I feel like they already have, haven't they?
They've gotten us here to the present.
But maybe
it's
there's
time
more they could be doing.
There's more to explore when it comes to mac and cheese, and we can be a part of it. We can be the trend setters when it comes to mac and cheese. All we need to do is join the Kraft Flavors Club.
Is it Flavors Club?
No. It's FLVRS.
It's like the cool flavors.
I think it's like when you're trying to make a word on a license plate, though, and you're just making it work. I think it's Flavors Club.
It's supposed to be like hip and trendy. Like, that's what it is.
Can somebody, nobody breaks it to the people that get those personalized license plates. Nobody knows what they say.
Nobody knows what it means.
They have no idea. And this isn't on a license plate. So
it's a club.
They could easily just put the vowels in there.
So it looks like it's a Kraft Mac and Cheese Club where they'll send you out flavors to try. Now, these are not like ones that go to supermarkets. Instead, you get to try it early.
They may start rolling these out to actual stores. I mean, when you look at the packaging and stuff, it looks like it's pretty ready to go.
It's ready to roll. They got pizza, ranch, and buffalo.
So basically, you get a box, and then there's a seasoning packet. That's how they're trying out the flavors.
Yeah.
So the mac and cheese box is just mac and cheese, but they do have the ranch, buffalo, pizza flavor packets that you add in, and then you can tell them what you think.
So do these appeal to you?
I know, Isaiah, what do you think? I feel like you like mac and cheese.
I love mac and cheese. And these flavors, like the ranch one, doesn't really do all that much for me. I'm not one of those people that puts ranch on like everything.
Yeah.
If you're one of those weirdos, then you can go and turn off the mic or whatever. But turn off the radio, change the dial.
Never.
It's not enough for...
Don't listen.
It's not enough for you to disagree with Isaiah.
He wants you just
Just
not
leave.
listening.
I just want you to leave if you're one of those people that ruin every single food with ranch. But
the pizza and the buffalo?
pizza and the buffalo, now you're speaking my language.
That can work.
I don't know. I'm the anti-buffalo where
What?
I don't know why everything needs to be buffalo flavored.
It's spicy. Like, that's like the thing. Another trendy thing is spiciness right now.
Yeah. I like spicy. I don't like buffalo spicy necessarily.
They speak to me, especially the buffalo one. The pizza one, I don't really know what that would taste like, but it is interesting to me. But in this article here that we're reading, they do kind of crap on it at the end because they say, but is it really worth it for a grown adult to go through all that just to try a new flavor of Kraft mac and cheese?
Yes, it's a lot of
here.
work.
It is. They have like only little kids can eat mac and cheese. Come on.
Well, I feel like, though, now for a while, they were trying to push more gourmet mac and cheese on everybody. So Kraft is just happy to be included as the original ones. But for this, you could easily make your own. Just grab a ranch packet.
Yeah.
Just grab buffalo
It's not
mix.
the same.
It is. You just grab a mac and
Get
cheese.
some Frank's Red Hot and put it on your mac and cheese.
Perfect.
And start with that.
But you can anybody can join the club, and it's free.
Yeah, but then, you have to...
Well, it's not free.
You have
It's
to
free.
You have to sign up.
Don't you have to pay for the mac
Well,
and
you have
cheese?
to, obviously you pay for the mac and cheese, but you can still be a part of the club.
You have to...
Then it's not free.
Don't you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, Nikki? Join the club. Jeesh.
I don't know. It feels like pressure.
It's all you, Isaiah.
But listen here, when I join the club and I get these flavors and you guys are like, well, maybe we should try it for the show, I'm going to say no. Oddly enough, I'll just enjoy it by myself since somebody else wanted to join.
I'll tell you guys, here's a secret when it comes to mac and cheese. the store brand is just as good, if not better, than the craft brand.
Yeah, you can find other ones.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So they're saying if you go to craftflvrs.com to sign up.
Filvers.
It's flavors. That's what they mean, even though they just didn't.
Then why don't they just say what they mean?
Maybe they couldn't get the URL, man.
Listen, everybody, listen.
That might be it.
Before November 3rd, then you have to follow Craft's social media channels to find out when the boxes are dropping. And then if you're in the club, you can enter to win one of the boxes at that point. First come, first serve. And you'll get to try the new mac and cheese for free at that point, but you get a complimentary piece of limited edition merchandise that goes with each flavor.
Ooh.
So
A sports. Oh, geez, this is rough.
You get a sports jersey for Buffalo, a plush hoodie for Ranch, and a jacket for Pizza.
This is the worst.
I didn't know this was some sort of raffle. I thought this was almost like guaranteed.
No, this is what they were saying. Is it worth it for
It's
all
not
this
worth it.
trouble?
I changed my opinion completely.
You.
I reversed
you.
back. That is some crap. I didn't realize it was some sort of event, some sort of raffle.
No,
what
so
the heck?
It is not just buying the box. You're right. You are winning, but this is not anyone can actually really join.
They're trying to get you more excited for craft than other stuff, but the truth is, what's more exciting? Going through like several steps to get a Buffalo Craft mac and cheese jersey, or just going to the store and buying up all of the mac and cheese they have.
Wow.
You're going to be, that's not Craft brand. You just go to the store brand route.
Sign up before November 3rd and start jumping through all those hoops to see what you get.
I want to see if one person actually do it.
No one will get it.
No.
I'm not even sure it's real.
It's not real
I'm
at all.
not even sure it's
The
real.
more hoops they can, you have to jump through, the less that they actually have to,
They have
pay
one
up
box.
on anything. Yeah, nobody's actually going to do all that.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
The trend now for McDonald's does it a lot. Other fast food restaurants are doing it too, where they'll have a celebrity meal.
Yeah.
They did like BTS had their own meal. I don't know what it was. I never ordered it, but they
there's
promoted
something.
it. They sure did promote it a lot. And maybe another artist they should partner with. Adele, you know Adele, right?
Well, she seems to be a fan of McDonald's.
She does. And she's all over the news recently. I guess she's put out some new music. And so really out there promoting it. And in her promotion, she did a thing with Vogue, it looks like, where she just talks about food for so long.
Well, everybody's asking her because she lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So it seems like, whenever something goes on and that's all they ask you about, it seems like she's probably going through that where that's all she gets asked about.
Well, it's a nice question to get asked, isn't it?
Well, I guess, but sometimes you just want people to stop saying something.
Oh, that's for sure. Every time. You ever get a haircut?
And
the few
someone then
times
brings
I
it
do,
up.
especially if you're like me and you only get it once every so often, then everybody brings it up. So I guess, that's true. Well, in this video, in this time Adele spent with Vogue, one of the things she said was that she eats McDonald's at least once a week.
Nice.
And she would pick it as her last meal if she, I guess, assuming she was on death row or something. She would want
they call it your last meal.
Yeah.
And this actually would be totally mine, too. It's nuggets, Big Mac, and fries.
That's your last meal?
Oh, well, that works. Because sometimes people are like, I'll have a cheeseburger, like a small meal.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you could have it all.
Before you die,
Yeah, have it all.
You have to
or it just
really
makes them
overeat.
It makes them seem like they eat less. When sometimes I think when we go to McDonald's, you gotta get little nuggets for the road.
Yeah. Well, I guess it definitely goes to show that for Adele, she's got a lot of money. Mm-hmm. She's her music career has been quite successful. She could buy anything she wants, and still she finds herself coming back to McDonald's.
But is that like rebelling against because to us, I feel like if you're super wealthy and you've lost a lot of weight, you probably had a team of people helping you.
Oh, yeah.
You have a chef, you have people that are working out with you. You got a lot of motivation. Where when you're trying to get healthier on your own, it's you and no one else. Except McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's is the only one there for you. So I wonder if the McDonald's once a week, to that person, it's like, all right, I'm rebelling against everything everybody's telling me to do.
She also says she eats Nando's, the chicken place. Is that how you say it?
Nando's, yeah.
That's, I don't know if we have that in the U.S., but in the U.K., it's very popular. And so she goes there, and more fast food, takeaway, as they call it. But, I learned a lot about her just by looking through this a little bit. And this, I like this. She also puts Worcestershire sauce on her beans and potato chips.
Potato chips?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Worcestershire.
You do?
Yeah.
Worcestershire sauce?
How do you say it?
I don't know. I don't even say it.
Nobody knows how to say that word right.
I don't usually have it to.
Worcestershire.
You're adding shire, and I guess
That's
it's probably.
that's at the end.
But you're putting such a big emphasis on it.
Worcester is I guess it's Worcestershire.
I always thought Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Sheer. Like Shire, but
See,
sheer.
nobody knows how to say it right. There's no that and poinsettia. Nobody will will never agree. And you and I have two ways. We each have our way, and Isaiah has his way.
His way?
And the problem with these words is there's more than two ways to say them, and none of them are right.
We'll
never know. Anyways, she likes to put that on her beans and potato chips, which that's a great idea. I used to put that, talking about mac and cheese.
Now, wait, is she saying chips, though? But I bet you think she means fries.
No, potato chips.
Potato chips?
Yeah.
All right, fine. It's just different. It's okay.
It could be really good.
I don't know. I'm not going to try it.
That's something that needs to come back is the Worcestershire sauce.
You lead the way.
Yeah. I used to see commercials for it all the time. Lee and Perrins, the burger booster.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
They used to try to sell us on, and the commercials worked. I love Worcestershire.
You learned everything but how to say it.
I think they wisely avoided actually saying they just called it Lee and Perrins. It was the brand.
But
the burger booster.
You never knew how to say it.
No, and I guess I still don't.
Oh, well, okay. You never know what someone's eating or what someone's favorite food is.
Well, now we can know about Adele because she talked about it for like 10 minutes.
Oh, you know what I should do is get a Big Mac and then you add a couple nuggets to the burger itself.
You do that?
No, yeah. And then you add a couple of fries.
That's a last meal.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I saw this question on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, and it's been swimming around in my mind. And I feel that other people need to be burdened with it as well.
So that way it gets out of your mind and into someone else.
It's in a way reevaluating your childhood and where your perceptions of things come. The question is, what are some things you thought were fancy when you were a child that now, as you've grown up, you realize aren't that special?
Oh, they're not fancy?
Yeah.
Not as special as you originally had thought.
Yeah, so of course for us, definitely for me, the first things all come to mind are food, but it doesn't have to be food.
I don't know anything outside of that.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, I was into cars when I was a kid. I'm trying to think of like what cars that I thought, oh, these are so fancy. Only rich people would have
like
these.
a Hummer or something, you know? Like that was one of mine.
Hummers
or
were
a
kind
Camaro
of
or a Corvette.
Yeah.
You didn't even know there's like way more.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a level of fanciness to those.
Yes.
But of course that can be eclipsed by other cars the Mitsubishi Eclipse would be a good example. When I was a child, that car seemed a lot cooler than it was. Yeah. In actuality, that was like one of the cheapest ones out there. So that was just what the cool older kids would have.
We were just talking about McDonald's, and you know, like when you were younger, you're like, McDonald's was like such a treat.
Yeah, it was so cool. I loved going to McDonald's.
And now, like, I think we know.
I think we've got it figured out one.
It's not so fancy, but we still go. And we're still happy when we go.
So here was my first answers is the Pepperidge Farm cookies.
Yes.
The Milanos.
The Milanos are so fancy.
Yes,
they're so fancy.
I still kind of think they're fancy.
I do too.
Bit,
I think they are.
I mean, they're too expensive for just an everyday thing. So
they're not. I mean, they're good, but they're not.
They're not fancy.
Anything we have here in the RadioU break room
is
probably is not as fancy as I maybe thought before. The other one is Krispy Kreme donuts, which now I know that is just. I mean, they're good, but that is just. There's not a lot of things cheaper. In fact, they'll just give them to you. They will literally just give them to you for free. But when I was a kid, there wasn't a Krispy Kreme around. The the building is all shiny.
Yeah.
You see them making the donuts. It's like, this is fancy. And
Look
so
at
that was
little
exciting.
Hudson right there.
Yeah. And then
Aw.
any food wrapped in foil. Not just like from a person, but like the Ferrero Rocher candy, anything that had foil as part of the packaging. That's fancy.
Fancy.
Gosh, I don't know anything else though that wouldn't be food.
I have, I think a couple things that I thought of. I lived in a 1-story house growing up, so if you had a 2-story house, that was so fancy. Like I walked in, I'm like, whoa, there's stairs in here. Like, where does that go? That is crazy. That was so cool when I was there. I was like, wow. I'm like, these people, they've got money. I'm like, whoa, a second floor.
Yeah.
You have your bedrooms up there. Woo!
Anybody with a pool when you were?
Yeah, you had a pool.
Yeah, we did. We eventually moved into a house with a pool, but beforehand, any house above ground, in ground, didn't matter. You had an actual pool, not an inflatable
You were
one.
Fancy.
Not a one that you had to put up and tear down. That's fancy.
Yeah, even like the above ground pools, like those were fancy when I was a kid. I think another one that I think is like if you went to like a hotel. If I walked into a hotel, I just it didn't matter what it was. I was like, this place is fancy. You walk into the lobby and you're like, oh, this is a nice place.
That's because they had many floors.
Yeah, I'm like 6 of them. Whoa, what's going on at the top?
You can't help but be fancified by
We're
that.
in the penthouse, Dad. 4th floor here.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't much to impress Isaiah.
No, he's right though. As a kid, I could tell the difference between a Motel 6 and anything else. But thinking now, like Hampton Inn, that seemed fancy.
That was
They might even have popcorn in the lobby. Oh man, that'd be incredible.
That's living right there.
Well, Andy just texted and Taco Bell was fancy for us because it was 45 minutes away. We got it about once every 6 months.
Wow. That's what makes it right there.
Rareness.
As a kid, you don't understand the prices of anything, right? So if it's something that you only get once every so often and it's a treat, that's fancy, right?
Yeah.
Any other, if you want to text in yours, I feel like I just feel like we could get wildly different answers from people.
Oh, yeah.
8772 RadioU. I want to hear anybody else's thoughts of how your perceptions have changed as you've grown up.
So what was fancy when you were young, but now you know better?
Yeah.
But you might still like.
Yeah, you might still like it.
Bad.
But
you just realize that it's very attainable.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually even inexpensive now.
8772 RadioU. Text your answer in.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
What is something that you thought was fancy or, unattainable as a child that you now understand as you've grown up really isn't that big of a deal at all?
Very obtainable.
Very attainable.
These things that either your friends' parents or your friends had, or like if you got them as like, oh, mom and dad must have been saving up for this or something like that.
So wait, are you saying like things when you were little that you didn't know they were lying to you about?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
They were fine.
I mean, it doesn't mean that they were saying it was a big deal. It's just because you never got it.
Yeah.
It must have been a big deal.
Well, Caroline texted in with one that at least, Isaiah, I don't know about you, but Hudson and I can relate. But as a kid, vacations where you didn't visit family were so fancy.
Very fancy.
And that was the good one. Let's see. Shrew said cable TV. Laura said braces.
Yeah. I can write,
I get it.
That was fancy stuff when you were younger. And Jared says a PlayStation 2.
Yes.
I love it.
I think that one works its way up through the generations, that whatever the new game system is, when you're at a certain age and your parents don't have it, you just feel like, oh, that's just what the cool kids have. The rich parents buy that for their kids.
Yeah.
And we're not well off enough to get the new PlayStation.
Well, Adam texted it, going from a 2000 Honda Accord, my first car in high school, to a 2014 Ford Fusion, first car bought brand new.
Wow.
So you went
Buying
from
a brand new car.
That one. I love errands. Having breakfast for dinner seemed really special and cool when I was a kid. Though looking back and as an adult, I can see it was probably because my mom didn't have any other ideas for dinner. And I so think that's true.
That's so accurate.
It's easy, but you know what? You know what sounds good tonight?
Breakfast
for dinner.
That's fancy.
Nothing better.
I've got eggs ready to go.
Josh texted in and said, for me, it was like a Ponderosa or a Ryan. So it'd definitely be like when you went to a buffet when you were younger, and now you're like, it's gross.
I love that one.
Even when I think of like going to Cece's, like Cece's Pizza, I was like, oh my gosh, the buffet. I walk in there, I'm like, you mean I can get like anything I want?
You want.
As much as I want, Dad? Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it.
You can eat. And they've got like a fondue fountain and stuff. And then now you're an adult and you're like, nope, not as good.
Not going in there.
I was thinking, for me, it was like Kraft cheese slices because hey, that's your grilled cheese when you were younger.
Yeah.
But now when you want to have like a charcuterie board.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You're going to put the cheese slices on it.
Yes.
That's not cheese anymore. And my dad always had these cookies called famous Amos cookies. And I used to think, there's big stuff because they were in a tin.
Oh, the tin box, yes. In a tin. If it's in a tin, it's fancy.
It has a lid.
Yeah.
These are fancy cookies.
Oh, my gosh. No, you nailed that. And with the Kraft cheese, I actually had a friend where his parents would get their cheese from the deli.
Yeah.
That's fancy. That was fancy.
That wasn't just Kraft. That was like, oh, man, his parents must have made it to go to the deli. They talk to a person and tell them how they want the cheese and the meat sliced.
That's because we don't want to go talk to anybody. So I'm not going to the deli to ask for anything.
I still don't do that.
I don't either.
In truth, it still feels kind of fancy for sure.
Now, one of you guys said a finished basement.
Yeah, finished basement. If you went to your friend's house and they had like a cool basement, I was like, wow, this is incredible. You guys like hang out down here and stuff? Wow.
It's just cool. Your parents don't bother you.
Yes.
You got your own fridge down
here. It's like
here.
your own little area. It's like your own little home down here. Wow.
Isaiah was really affected because he did live in a one-story.
The one story. So if you had an upstairs or a really nice downstairs, then that was pretty legit. The other one I thought of, and this is a weird one, but I thought this every single time, is if instead of having like the light switches that you just flip, if you had like the slide dimmers or even the push ones, I'm like, you mean that you can set this at any light level? We can have it kind of dim in here?
There's not just on and off?
Yeah. I'm like, you can slide it up. I'm like, even the push one was like, that's kind of special. I get to push that back and forth instead of the flip. My dad was an electrician, and we just had like the regular flip ones.
The simple ones? You would think you would have the fanciest
I know, right? I'm like, we could
easily
easily put the dimmers in. And then we did get the dimmers. And when we got the dimmers, I remember when he showed it to me, he was like, check this out, son. We can have it at any level you want. I was like, wow, Dad, we made it. We made it.
On that note,
simple things.
The Glade plugins.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't have a candle. You had a plug-in that made it smell good all the time.
And that was fancy.
Yeah, that was fancy.
And now you're like, it's probably killing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love all these.
Yeah. This is a fun game to play.
So Hudson was looking yesterday on Twitter, and it became trending on things that you thought were fancy when you were younger, and now you know, like, you just know.
Yeah. You understand. One of the ones that was repeated online a lot is the you know when you have the zebra, the cakes at Christmas usually your grandma would make, and it has the Oreo. It's like Oreo cookies, but it's just the cookie part.
Yeah.
And then she covers it in the whipped cream, and then it gets all soft and mushy and whatever. That people were saying that was a big one.
That was a big one.
That was a big fancy one.
Rebecca came in with Lunchables when you would have Lunchables when you were younger.
Special occasion.
Only the privileged. Only the privileged.
Not everybody could have a Lunchable.
No. The rest of us were rocking PB&J, but the kid with the Lunchable.
Not even an Uncrustable.
It came with a candy bar inside.
Oh, geez.
Yep, they've made it, those kids.
Well, if anybody has any other ideas, it's funny to think what was fancy when you were younger. But you can text 877 to RadioU and send them our way.
This is The Riot.
Radio U.
Nikki, we're both pet owners.
We are.
And do you don't feed your dogs a meat-free diet, do you?
No, mine are on the good old Costco brand food.
Yeah? Kirkland? Is that what it is?
They do. And let's see, what else do they do? I do the salmon oil thing for them.
What does that mean?
Well, it's like it's a salmon oil.
Okay, I gathered that much part.
And it has a pump, and you have to pump so many into their food.
You put that on their food?
Yeah, that
just
way.
Just like olive oil, or?
But it's salmon oil.
Yeah.
And it's good because my two dogs, Cinnamon and Sugar, they have allergies.
Yeah.
And it's good for like their coat and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And was harsh.
It seems that it would make their their breath smell horrible.
No, it doesn't. You don't even notice it.
Oh, really?
No, but what's bad is it's based on their body weight.
Okay.
So like my dog, Sugar, she's about 100 pounds. So she's like 25 pumps or something.
So like a whole bottle, basically.
It's pretty much to the point where it is almost like a whole one.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm just like, can I just feed you salmon?
Is that
is that
every day or?
Yeah, every time they have a meal.
Oh, my gosh. How do you live?
Well, Eric
how do you
does it.
do that?
I just reorder it.
No, I mean, how do you afford it?
No, but...
Remember how we were talking about things that were fancy when you were... I'm an adult and now I think salmon oil is fancy.
I know how stupid it is because I stopped taking allergy shots because I have massive allergies.
Yeah.
Because it was too much. But I get allergy shots from my dogs.
Nothing is too much.
Salmon oil.
For cinnamon and sugar.
And poor Rollo's like, I'll eat whatever.
Yeah. Well, did you know in the UK, if you fed your dog or a cat even a vegan or vegetarian diet, you could be fined up to 20,000 pounds, which in the U.S. would be about $27,000. You could.
Yeah.
It is under the Animal Welfare Act, which went into effect in 2006, actually, that you are required, if you are a pet owner, to feed your pet a suitable diet.
Well, this is what they say. They say your personal belief system means that if you don't want to eat anything animal protein, that's fine. But they're trying to protect the pets because that doesn't mean your diet should reflect what your pet should eat.
Right.
Because when I was a vegan... it just became very popular for people to try to impose that on their pets.
Sure.
I remember, especially with my cats, it was like, well, no, cats really need
they
need that protein.
That's if they were in the
and not
wild.
pea protein.
Yeah. No.
They need something else. So
they
you're
say,
not allowed to.
particularly for dogs, that if they were eating a meat-free diet, they aren't equipped naturally to handle all of the high fiber foods that they would have to be eating instead. So all of that fiber would potentially cause health concerns for them. So what they actually say in the UK, the president of the British Veterinary Association, her name is Daniela Dos Santos. She says that it's possible. It's not like it's not every single vegan dog diet is bad, but to actually do it effectively where it would count as a suitable diet for your dog or cat, it really needs to be done with an actual professional nutritionist. You shouldn't just be out there buying whatever or feeding your dog whatever vegan stuff you think it needs. It should be done with a pet nutritionist.
So you get okay, if we're starting to afford that.
No, you're right. Then just pay the fine.
Just pay the fine at that point. You could get a fine. You get a court date. It's in the UK, though, but I don't think this is bad here. And then the worst case, you could get jail time. You could have your pets taken away or banned from having pets again. But I did like that line. You do you, but you got to realize your pet's not you.
Right.
So they don't have to do what you're doing.
Yeah, you got to give them what they would be used to eating naturally. What their body is equipped to handle. I do feel too, because this isn't the only. This is a big thing. I don't know why it just came up, but it's a big thing in the UK where if you're a pet owner, there's a lot of responsibility with it, where they can actually take some actions against you. And I feel like it's a lot of pressure. And
I think you're fine.
I mean, I think I take care of my dog well.
Oh, no, it's not like that.
But I'd be afraid to have a dog in the UK.
Sure.
Because who knows, man? Who
Just
knows?
remember, as long as you're feeding them better than you feed yourself, you're just fine.
I feed my dog a lot of the things I do feed myself, which might be bad, actually.
No, it's also fine, too.
That's fine. My dog's okay, all right? She's totally good.
If they keep talking long enough, they're bound to say something that you agree with. The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on RadioU.
Hardly related to what we're about to talk about, but I've wanted to get it off my chest.
Sure.
Did you know on Disney Plus there's a new Muppet special, Muppets Haunted Mansion?
I did not.
It's not good. It's not the
Why'd
Muppets.
you even watch it?
I love the Muppets.
Okay.
I love the Muppets. I thought it would be good.
But it's not them?
It is not. I mean, it's the characters, but it's not the Muppets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Gonzo. It's mostly Gonzo and the shrimp.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
It's not funny. It's not good.
It's not? Listen, it's a cinematic universe, and you have to branch out.
Yeah.
And, that's just different characters getting a moment to have their own special.
I feel that if anyone else is out there and is a Muppets fan like me,
You were hating it?
and I want you to save yourself the trouble and the disappointment and do not watch that. Anyways, talking about haunted mansions, though, we have a new survey here about what it would take. How many people would actually stay in a haunted house?
Well, a lot of times
they got the
during
chance.
this season, people will turn like scary places into the Airbnbs.
Yeah.
So that you could stay at a place that has some
Scare-B-N-B?
concern. A Scare-B-N-B. Oh my gosh. Please
I'm
market
sure
that.
somebody has come up with that already, but if not, I'm right here.
So you could stay in the house and, what would it take if there was some concerns about the place?
Yeah, so we have this survey here. It's 1,000 Americans, and let's see, 56% of people would rather stay in a haunted house with friends for $10,000 than go alone for $1 million. Is one of the first things they
Dude,
found.
you don't even have to pay me that much.
10,000. Well, how much would you pay,
Well, it
or how much would you
depends.
need to pay?
I see a lot on the trending stuff of like YouTubers who will go stay in a asylum or
Yeah.
like a
Oh, yeah.
haunted place or something. The problem is whenever you see that stuff, everybody turns the lights off and you try to sleep.
Yeah.
Don't. If you just don't sleep,
Just
leave
stay
the
up
lights
all night.
on, stay
yeah.
up all night.
But then what if your mind starts to play tricks on you?
I think for a few thousand,
Yeah.
I'll keep
You can deal with it.
I'll keep my mind
If
in
you
check.
know you have a finish line ahead of you that includes a bunch of money. Let's see. 57% of people would rather stay in a haunted motel than a haunted house.
That sounds scarier.
You think?
Motels and hotels are just scarier anyways.
But if you're, I think maybe the thinking is if you're in a hotel or a motel, there's other people around.
What's the one with, is it the Bates thing?
The Bates Motel?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's haunted or if just Norman Bates hangs out there and kills people, but let's see.
That leads to it then being haunted after.
Yeah, I guess so. Here's some more maybe realistic things. 70% of people would buy a house somebody died in.
Oh, really?
I used to live in a house somebody died in.
Did they disclose it to you?
Yeah.
They said it?
Uh-huh.
How'd they die?
It was like
Natural
a heart
causes?
attack or a stroke or something like that. But the house.
That's not as bad as if they were murdered.
The room that they died in was where we had our computer. We spent a lot of time in that room. It was one of the most popular rooms.
As long as it wasn't like, that's where I sleep.
No, it was not where I slept. No. Let's see.
And they told you?
Well, yeah, they wouldn't want us to find out afterwards, would they?
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
38% of people would buy a house somebody was murdered in.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
That would be tough. I think that, I don't know why, because it's still somebody died, but I don't know. Be thinking about like the blood everywhere or, just whatever happened. I listen to enough true crime podcasts too and stuff like that where you hear stories of people, a whole crazy, murder situation goes down, a bunch of people die in a house, and then still somebody comes and lives in the house later. Mm-hmm. That always bothers me. I don't know.
There's a lot to it.
It's not like you're going to get murdered there.
I know.
But it just doesn't feel right. It's just like knock the house down, start afresh.
Build it again.
25% of people would buy a house they knew was haunted. And 28% of people would buy a house the neighbors are afraid of.
Actually, this is what I like. I like a new place, new build.
Yeah.
Okay. First time in the apartment, no one else there. That's what I enjoy.
That's nice at first, but then what if you're the first person to get killed there?
Well, then you're rolling the dice.
Yeah.
but I would rather be the only one in there at that time.
I guess the odds are still better.
Yeah.
There's because if you move into a house where somebody has already died, then that means there's a non-zero chance. So
don't even like to think about that. No, thank you.
The Riot Podcast.
RadioU.
Where we need you to weigh in. Because
don't say way after what we're going to talk about.
That does make it sound like
use that in another. Let's find another word.
Chime in.
There
Yep.
it is.
We need to hear from you on my birthday lunch because my birthday came and went during the fundraiser. Mm-hmm. We had a pseudo birthday meal because it was Buffalo Wild Wings.
You did get a birthday dinner.
Yeah, does that count? I actually kind of thought it did count.
No, you
so that's
still
why I
get-
wasn't thinking about this
That
at
was
all.
an extra special fundraiser.
Yeah.
But I think you still, like, when you work here at RadioU, you get a birthday lunch.
Uh-huh.
So you haven't had your official birthday lunch. Sydney hasn't either.
Mm-hmm.
Her birthday was right before that.
Yeah.
So you guys both need to pick what places or place you choose to agree on together
Can we agree on a place? I don't know about
Otherwise, you got to come up with something.
Sydney and I have similar tastes, but I feel that I would probably be fine with any place she picked. But, there's a 95% chance, but for some reason, the one place she would pick, it would be the one that I would not.
And if you pick something, what if she resents you silently?
So I think it might be best if we just pick our own, or
That's
pick them
good.
individually, and then maybe they happen to be the same. But I don't know what to pick for mine.
What do you feel like?
Well, I don't eat a lot of barbecue at home because my wife doesn't really like it very much, but I do like barbecue.
So you want to pick a barbecue place?
But there's not that many. There's not that many options.
Well,
there's like 2 nearby, and one we go to as work frequently, but I don't know if it still stands up or if it feels so special as a birthday meal.
Yeah,
either.
I'm just throwing this out there. What about Chinese food?
That's too attainable. It's too attainable.
It's perfect.
No, I get Chinese all the time.
But what if there was a Chinese barbecue place? You could have both.
Chinese? Yeah, that would be a unique place, huh?
I think I'd enjoy it.
See, that actually, it's funny you mentioned that because the one place that came to mind of I bet you Sydney would pick this and I would not want to go is BB Bop.
Oh,
because
Bibimbap,
that's Korean
yeah.
barbecue, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not as much a fan of that style, so
that's a no for that.
so that's not. I'm open to any suggestion of any place for a birthday lunch, but barbecue was the first thing that came to mind. We said Ray Ray's. I may wind up just doing that just because it's something I have.
Let's keep going.
Okay, Nikki doesn't like the choice of Ray Ray.
I want to eat inside. If you want me to go, I'd like to eat inside.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's keep working on it. If anybody has any ideas,
I want you to pick something new.
I kind of would like somewhere new.
I'm gonna force my thoughts on it.
But if I pick somewhere new that even I've never been and then it's not good, everyone I feel will blame me, and it's not my fault because I've never been. So I have to pick somewhere safe.
Well, Ashley just texted in and said, Hudson, my cousin owns Ray Ray's.
What?
So are we going to Ray Ray's?
Does that mean,
Ashley, are you inviting us over? Is that what you're saying?
Can we all get comped? Is that what you're saying? I know it's a hard time in the restaurant world right now, but.
Well, here's Uncle Beth's Barbecue. Dylan said that's a good place. It's amazing.
Uncle Beth.
Basically, just send us any good places.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to submit them all for review. And my birthday has already came and went, so yeah, we should pick a place quickly.
We'll just do it before Thanksgiving if you don't mind, or maybe before the end of the month.
Before the end of the month. Okay, we'll work on that.
Pick a place that works. And then let us know where you think Sydney should go to.
Yeah, give us 2 suggestions, one for each of us. I almost feel that it's not an exciting choice. And I don't know how everybody else will feel, but I almost feel like the default should just be Five Guys.
No,
Five Guys. I've never been to Shake Shack.
Oh, that's a good one.
Should we do Shake?
It's just
is
realistic.
the new one there yet? No,
it's not. They haven't even started.
It's too far away.
Realistic expectations.
Too far away.
It's like Five Guys. It became so expensive, and it's not as good.
And it's a long drive. We would never get. It would make we'd have to stay like. Our work day would be 12 hours if we had to do Shake Shack.
Jeff, I love your text message so much. This sounds like Nikki just needs to pick. Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, I'm very indecisive. That's
Thank
another
you.
problem.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll pick for you.
Okay. Everybody submit your suggestions to Nikki. It'll be a surprise.
That's right. And we could choose what we would like then once everybody gets theirs in. Aaron, we've done it before, the wheeloflunch.com to choose.
Oh, yeah?
Like you spin the wheel online and it chooses what sort of style.
Yeah, I feel like that would just lead to disappointment, too.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.